A man walked up to sit at a bench 2 feet away from me when my phone rang. He jumped. He turned around and he thought it was a mannequin standing next to a dress display in a department store. And he said that out loud. He didn't realize I was a real person. If you ever felt like you go quiet in a room without saying a word, stay with me. There's a reason that happens, and there is a fix that actually holds.
Tired of feeling stuck, unseen, or like your body isn't yours anymore? It's time for a reset. Welcome to an Ageless Life, the Midlife Reset show, where science, movement, and mindset help you feel strong, energized, and like yourself. I'm Devi, a clinical pharmacist, Argentine tango dancer and instructor, and your guide for redefining how women thrive and grow in midlife and beyond. Let's get started.
Let me tell you about the day a stranger thought I was a mannequin. Most department stores put a bench in the women's section for the people that are not shopping to sit in while everyone else shops. I was standing behind one a couple of feet from a display of dresses, waiting for a friend of mine, not really thinking about anything. A man walked up to sit down to the bench. At exactly the same time, my phone rang. He jumped off the bench and he was shocked. His hand was on his chest and he said, direct quote, "I didn't realize you were a real person standing there." I laughed. Of course I laughed. Standing 2 feet from a rack of dresses, still enough, quiet enough that a grown man walked right past me, registered me as a mannequin instead of a woman. But I have thought about that moment more than I expected, because he was not wrong to jump to that conclusion. I know exactly what my body does when it stands long enough and stops paying attention to itself. My weight settles into one hip, my shoulders round a little bit forward, my chest folds a little bit, just slightly. Everything about me stops announcing that I'm somebody, and I'm actually standing there. I was not standing near the bench. I was blending into the display. I was not yet teaching tango back then. I didn't have a room full of students in front of me to contradict, but I do now. Today, I stand in front of them and tell them, take your axis, that is your center, lift your spine slightly, and announce that you are here. And I think about that day, 2 feet from a rack of dresses, doing the exact opposite so completely that a stranger thought I was one of the mannequins wearing one of the dresses. That's not decline. Nobody did that to me overnight. It's 100 little moments of leaning, settling, holding until the stillness stops, reading as a woman, waiting for a friend, and starts reading as an object, waiting for nothing at all, just blending in. And I know exactly where the habit comes from. Somewhere past 50, a woman starts hearing the message that she never asked for. Lots of input about this, that she's fading, that she's done being looked at or planned around or taken seriously. Nobody says to you in one sentence, it's 100 little ways the same as your posture does. And if you hear it long enough, some part of you starts believing it and standing like it's true. That's not who I am, and that is not who you are either, whether or not a stranger has ever said it to you. I want to talk about the way you carry yourself, not in the sitting up straight, something that actually will hold in your body. I'm Devi, clinical pharmacist for 40 years, Argentine tango teacher and dancer, and this is Midlife Reset. This is part 3 of Still Moving. We've covered muscle that carries you, the balance that keeps you on your feet. Today, the way you carry yourself, your posture, your spine, the room you take up without saying a word. Posture is not a position. It's a habit your nervous system's already chosen for you, one leaning forward at the moment. Posture is not about holding your shoulders back for a photograph. It is where your body defaults when nobody is reminding you. And your default has been getting quieter, been renegotiating for years by every screen that you look at, driving with the steering wheel, every counter you lean on to read the phone. You feel it before you can name it. The ache in the back of your neck or between your shoulders or the lower back by 4 in the afternoon. The stiffness when you try to get out of the car. The moment you catch your reflection in a store window and you stand up a little straighter and adjust for a second before it slides back down. That slide isn't decline. It's a habit. And habits can be retrained at any age, starting today. Sitting up straight never lasts because once you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. Your posture is held by 2 different systems that don't get equal airtime. The big muscles, the ones that you feel working, the ones that get sore, get most of your attention because they talk to you. But posture is not held by those. It's held by the deeper layer, the small muscles around your spine and posture that run along, working all day long without ever announcing themselves. These muscles do not get rest between reps like the big ones do. They hold silently for hours. And because nobody trains a muscle that never complains, they get weaker without you ever feeling the workout. When you finally tire late in the day, your body stops fighting gravity with muscle and starts leaning on ligament and bone. That is the fold. That is the mannequin. Here is the second place. Your nervous system keeps a kind of an internal map of where upright is. Spending enough hours a day with your head reaching forward toward a screen to read something, and the map your body redraws. Forward starts to feel like it's neutral or your new home. Actually, upright starts to feel like it's effort, like you are straining when you're really just unfamiliar with your own correct posture. That's why sitting up for a photo never holds. You're fighting a map that is already moved. You have to redraw the map, not just correct the position for 10 seconds. Everyone tells you the same thing. Sit up straight, shoulders back, chin up, and hold that for 90 seconds. So you do. Here's the problem. That's a held position. It's not a trained pattern, and it doesn't feel natural. Holding a position uses the same tired posture muscles that you're already trying to rest and to fight a map that your nervous system hasn't agreed to redraw. You cannot white knuckle your way into carrying yourself better. You just get tired of holding it and you let go within the hour. Tango actually taught me the fix, and it has nothing to do with holding still. In tango, the way you carry yourself is not a pose you strike before walking. It is built into the walk itself. You do not lift your chest and then walk. You have this sensation of elongating the spine. Basically, you feel like it pulls from the top of your head, lifting, and just let the rest of your body rest on that. Lifting your chest, and this positions your body correctly so that step after step, it feels natural. In the beginning, it takes a little adjustment. The difference is posture held as a position fights with your body. The way you carry yourself trained as a movement pattern trains your body for the new default. The way any habit gets built through repetition, not through willpower and forcing it like held for a photo. Before we try the two things to work on posture, I want you to stand in front of a mirror. And I want you to look at the front of you and then turn to look sideways and look to see where your ear sits, where your shoulder is, where your hip bone is to the side, and basically the middle of your foot. The goal is for all of these to line up. Is your head forward? Is it to the side a little bit? Is your chin leading up? Or your shoulders rounded? We're just observing at this point. This is information, and this tells you exactly where you are starting today. Just like when we did the sit stand in one of the other episodes tells you where your leg strength is, same thing here. I wanted you to try two small movements now that you know where you are, to start redrawing the map of your posture. The first is to stand tall. By that I mean feet are flat on the floor, equal weight to each side. You feel like you're pulling just as though the top of the crown back at the back part of the head. Raise that up just a little bit. It's not tight. And then your head, your chin level, you're not looking down, your ears until they are over your shoulders. And at the same time, lift the shoulders up and roll down and just let them drop. And notice how the position of your arms change. Hold that for 3 seconds. Breathe and then release it. And do that 10 times. You'll really notice a difference, especially a lot of people tell me they notice it after the first 1 to 2 and becomes more natural and they get more release the more times they do it. This is the pair that actually redraws the map, not one without the other. You only do the neck part and your chest can stay caved in, or only do the shoulder part and your chin can stay stuck out. But you put them together and look exactly how you're lined up in the mirror. The second movement is reach your arm out to the side and up overhead and gently lean toward the opposite side and just feel the stretch from your hand through the rib cage. Now I am extending the arm up and reaching my fingers, but keeping my shoulder relaxed. And I'm going to stay there for a second and just breathe. And then come back. I'm going to do the other side. Arm goes up. I'm going to reach it up and over, keeping the shoulder relaxed, but stretching the fingers in the arm. I'm going to feel it all the way down into my side. And then come back. And here's how you make it stick. Is when you stand up, try the head and the shoulder where you bring the chin in and you release and reset your shoulders. Or every time you answer the phone. Or when you reach for something. This actually makes it so that your body understands the reset and really notices that's home. You can try this in walking from one room to another. That slight little lift at the back of the head and the breath, the chin, the ears, the relax in the shoulders. Here's what you've just found. It probably will take a stranger longer to mistake you for a mannequin than it did for me. And you've been quietly folding your body in, that rounding that happens when you look at the screen or when you're driving. or when you're in a long wait, long before anybody tells you. This is one pillar. There is strength, balance, and now the way that you carry yourself. Your focus, your stamina, those are to come. And we cannot decide what the next 20 years will look like for you until you've looked at them all. If this landed for you, I'd like to share something with you. It's called Midlife Superpower. It's a free gift to you, and you'll find it in the show notes. It's anagelesslife.com/superpower, and it's got some really great things in there for you to start with. Next week, we're going to the brain, focus, and the fog that makes you wonder mid-sentence, what was I going to say? I talked a little bit about this in episode 53. Where did you go? But this is something that's going to really build upon that. You know, I still think about the bench, not because I'm embarrassed by it, but because it is the clearest proof that I've ever had of what happens when I stop announcing that I am here. I stop claiming my space. Fading into furniture was never the truth about who I am or was. It was just a habit nobody had interrupted yet. The way you carry yourself is not vanity, and it's not about one stranger's comment on a bench in a department store. It is the room you take up in your own life every day, whether or not anyone's watching. You build it back, one reset, one reach, one lift of the crown of the head at a time. And the next time you catch yourself going quiet in a room, weight sunk into the hip, shoulders rounding, chest folding in, I want you to stand and think about it. Adjust your shoulders. Think about where your head and your neck are. Announce that you are here. Take up the space that you have a right to take up. Aging is an upgrade. That's it for this episode. Let's take up the room we came here to take up. Bye for now.
That's it for this reset. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's episode gave you something to think about, I'd love to have you subscribe so you never miss what's next. And remember to grab your free gift, your Midlife Superpower, 5 simple power moves to feel like yourself again. The address for this is, or link is, agelesslife.com/superpower. Thanks again. Bye-bye.